the clutch. This was my second clutch this season.
When were they hatched? Mine was in March, right?
Yeah, these were in April.
Okay.
So if that gives you an idea, size. And these guys are in. They all ate yesterday, and it's wonderful. They eat in deep shed. They don't care. They have not a care in the world. You're gonna lock onto my face.
That's a good thing. I love that dorsal stripe on it, man.
Oh, I do too.
Strong.
It's almost solid all the way down. There is absolutely no way he's going to let me pull him off.
Hey, Basement, how you feeling? Basement Pythons, how you feeling, buddy? He had to go under the knife this morning. Hope that wrist is better, bro.
Oh, no. But yeah, so this is what yours is in right now.
6, okay.
It's a 6-quart tub. It's got a little tag on it. And I use the perches from David Brahms.
Yeah, Brahms is killer. I've been looking at Chris's stuff from 3D in a Box.
Yeah.
I've been looking at his stuff. I think I've made decisions, but I've also kind of, once you start adding it all up, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to actually just simplify and keep it easier. And I may just get a few of them stands because, boy, isn't it easy to move them in and out to get weights or to clean them when you have...
for sure.
Yeah, that removable stand is key. Look at those yellows, dude. That is popping.
Yeah, these are two of my babies from my second clutch. I'm holding on to more of them. I still got a little bit of a sniffle. I'm holding on to more of them than I am the other one.
Yes. Okay. That first one you showed me, those yellow diamonds were just...
Yeah.
Dang.
It's wild. But yeah, so I'm down. This whole rack, along with down here, was full. And now, of course, you can see the all the empty places in there. But yeah, hopefully we'll have more babies to put in them.
Are you pairing that dad again this coming season here?
I might. I haven't 100% decided. I might pair him with this girl down here.
Well, she's got some flex, don't she?
She's quite mad. So right now, the hope is to pair that girl with this guy. The lights were off, so they're all. This one I can usually reach in and like just grab him.
Yeah,
but the lights were off
at night.
Yeah, the lights were off, so I'm not dumb enough to reach in there right now.
Heck no. I'm not even going to change mine. I could freshen mine's water. It ain't soiled, but I'm going to wait till sunrise because I like my wrist.
There's his little tail. Trying to tempt me. I
still haven't seen caudal luring in mine, and it eats like a freaking beast. Mine will eat every couple of days, and I don't know its age. It's undocumented. It's a Indonesian farm hatched, and I have no background, but what a healthy beast of a little specimen. I'm super happy with it, but I never see a caudal lure. I never have a problem feeding. It eats anything, live, frozen, whatever I give it. Birds, mice, rats, anything.
Mine eat everything if you can't tell.
Yeah.
But he's determined. The perch extensions, I have a love-hate relationship with them. I don't really think that the animals use them that much, with the exclusion of this one down here. This is the only one. This is the only one that uses that extension.
Huh.
So.
That's a scrubby, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a scrub.
I hear they're famously nasty disposition, especially in the wild. How's yours, behavior-wise?
As long as I'm not feeding her, she's fine. And this is my yellow girl.
Wow, how old is she? She's really popping, man.
She's grown. She won't get no more. She'll be yellow.
That's rad. You do not see many that maintain yellow through there. I mean, I know everybody wants lemon tree and high yellow, and everyone talks about it, and like, good luck to you. But that one's really held on to it. That's stunning.
Yeah. The babies that I was showing earlier, so I don't actually have, none of these babies that are left are for sale anymore. They're all holdbacks at this point. And they kind of range. If you're just wondering about a generalized question, I mean, if I was hypothetically, that one's luring too. I don't know if you can see it. If I was hypothetically to sell, you know, like for example, probably one of these reds, you know, these are my holdbacks. These were the I'm not going to say the better ones of the clutch, because they definitely, like, you know, I mean, it's better is in the eyes of the beholder, I guess you could say. So you're right there. So I mean, these ones, if I was going to sell one, if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, money talks," I would probably want at least 35 for the red ones.
Yeah.
And probably about 2 for the yellows. Just because there's typically more potential in the reds, but for this clutch there is a good potential for the yellows. The other clutch that I did with Kaylee, which of course, you know, you're familiar with the prices, but they were more locality based than designers, so they were a little bit on the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I'll have babies a little bit different, from a different end of the spectrum this year too.
Did you get any of Ruben's Cyclops? Is that anything that interested you?
No, so my thing is, so with my stuff, I don't actually do many locality stuff. Most of my stuff is a designer or designers. So I do have some localities. I have, you know, like this one right here. This girl's a Biak. This one's also a Biak.
And you know, when I got into this, Carly, this past year, you know, I always kind of thought Biaks were kind of crapped upon. Everyone looked down their nose at them. And then, thanks to people like you and MJ and everyone's like, Biaks are power. Like, they're part of the secret sauce to get that pixelation, at least to start the path towards pixelation and melanin. And I didn't realize that going into it. Everyone kind of crapped on Biaks. And now I'm really happy I have just one at least, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've got another Biak that's in quarantine too. And that's the thing, is that like, the thing is you can mix high designers to Biaks and get out crosses, and no 2 Biaks are the same. So for instance, like this is the dad, he's in the dim cage, but this is the dad of the second clutch that I have got. And this is the mom down here. I could sit and take him and pair him to this Biak, which they're both Biaks. They were both red, both relatively from the same area. They don't look the same. She's got a blue hue. Oh my goodness, Ruben.
Hey, Ruben, I wasn't even looking down there, buddy. I didn't see you. My bad. How are you, brother?
I'm good.
Yeah, and then she's got a yellow hue. So, I mean, you can sit and mix designers and you're never going to get the same thing. But see, I've got 3 females, and this is what was supposed to have been, I named it Betty White. It's now Bob White.
Ha, ha.
But I'm not upset about it, because I have got a male. If I want to make my own Biaks, I will make my own Biaks. Are you talking about this high yellow girl? I think that's probably who you're talking about, is this one.
I think
Design.
obviously
But it was a designer to Biak.
Oh, audio was breaking up, Carly.
Ruben, what are you muttering?
Oh no, I was saying. I think what y'all were mentioning earlier. I think yeah, the full thing is the fact that y'all can kind of fuck with everything and end up touching base with anything and everything. Doesn't really matter what you mix with it. Just because some Biogs just tend to have little different sauces within their phenotypes, which is weird. I
It
still haven't
is, isn't
understood
it?
exactly why Biogs do that because you can get one Biog that just doesn't look like it's high yellow whatsoever, and then you end up putting it with a blue line, and for some reason there's that one child that decides to come out and turns full high yellow. But then you can also end up putting them and it just pixelates or heightens the blue on them all the way through.
Huh. Man, you're making me
Well,
feel
it's
good about
wild. You
mine.
can have different things. So, for instance, this one right here is another of my JL. This has the same mom as this one.
Isn't that something?
Same mom, different dad. So, I mean, they were both mixed to, like, they both have Biak mothers. So, I don't know. You could mix, I could put one male, and I've thought about it. I could put one male to 3 Biaks in the same season and get different results.
Dang.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Versatility
All of mine are
is
so
good.
ready to eat.
Ruben,
And I've got
how
this-
was your trip down south of the border, sir?
Oh, buddy, I am still here. I was as we speak.
Oh, okay. Nice. You down there with work or family just for fun?
Just for fun and for family.
Awesome. Dude, well, thanks for coming in across the border, international. I love that. We've been doing this on Saturdays. We've been doing some shows with a gentleman out of London, and he's a guy that works on proving out genes. And we got another one Saturday coming, our second in the miniseries from London again, midday on Saturday. So I always love international flair, man. I pay a lot of attention to what goes on overseas. Even if you can't do it, I like the inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to just kind of see what other people are doing is always exciting.
Hey, Ruben, if you were in the
Yeah.
States right now, I'd say I'd pay you $100 to come get this snake out right now.
That's legitimately what I was about to ask you is why the fuck do you own one? Then so many people have offered me trades for one for the Cyclops, and I get so intrigued by the idea, but I'm truly so fucking scared of them.
She's huge. I mean, that's a
I think
4-foot cage that she's in.
I'd rather handle like a blue Stellaris or even
You
a
see how
Gaboon
big
Black
her head
Manta.
is?
Exactly. No, I'm good. I appreciate it.
Okay, but see this,
He said, I'm good.
put it to this.
Jesus. Are they basins?
No, so that one's a basin. That one's a basin. That one's a northern. But what you get is you get this.
Oh, you have a hybrid?
I have a hybrid.
What? I didn't know you had basins. Oh my god. And B, I didn't know about hybrids. I don't know a lot about emerald trees.
And do you see this, Ruben?
Nah, you hear? Oh, so you don't hear the huffing?
No, there ain't no huffing.
No huffing?
Oh, come on, Ruben. Even Burmese, they hiss and huff a lot. They're nice.
She's not huffing at all. This is 9 o'clock at night.
I mean, they all have different personalities. Just like everybody says, if you own a Biok, you naturally own a snappy snake. And I've seen so many Bioks that are ready to murder you, but I've also seen so many Bioks that all they want to do is be held.
No, yeah, that ain't none of mine.
Not mine either. Mine's an asshole.
No, I've got several basins.
I didn't know you had basins. I mean, northerns are much more common. I had no idea.
Your production or...
See, and this is what's good about basins. It's 9 o'clock at night.
Golly.
The rest of my snakes would light me up. So there's one. I got one more.
What's up, Moose? Thanks for joining in, buddy. Dude, basins are all the rage right now. Everybody just wants to get on that.
Yeah, and I got a female that's coming. She's
How long
not
have you
here
been
yet.
keeping them?
Dude, the basin's not very long. Not very long at all. Then we got this guy up here, Ruben.
Oh, hello.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm gonna hate you for that one. I still really will hate you for that one. But
And
it's
he's
alright. I'm
in
gonna let it.
deep shed.
You think he's gonna change anymore, or you think he's staying like that?
Well, I think
mean,
he's
still.
done. I think he's done.
Is he the 22 or the 21? 'Cause I know he
22.
made that same 22. Oh, okay. You can see the tail in the back. I swear I just seen the earring.
Man, that's
Yeah,
cool.
This girl's mean. This is
So
snake
what-
that got me in the face the other day.
See, there she goes. There she goes. There she goes. There she goes. Just leering.
Yeah. She got me in the face the other day.
Like connected?
Yeah. Blood and everything.
Oh my god.
There you go, Ruben.
Oh, is that the one from Sony?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you talking about this one?
Is that from Sony you said as well?
No, this
That's
one's
the-
from Christian
both of them.
Stewart.
Okay.
This one is a velvet to SH09169.
That's the one blood I am really with.
We've got that one, and then I've got velvet. She usually flies out. I know she looks big in this, but she prefers it. So that was velvet
Velvet by
to
Sunshine?
sunshine.
Dude, look at that back patterning. That's awesome.
So those are both calico.
Sunshine comes from what exactly? I keep forgetting.
Sunshine is Lucia Duffman, which oddly enough, his mother was a clutch mate to Sunshine, which is Lucia Duffman, which is Mr. Blue, Aquaman Mr. Blue to Oshi.
That basically makes them like second cousins.
Well, yeah, but then get this. Are you ready? This one's also a cousin. So his mom, and her mom were clutch mates.
Yeah, it makes them complete cousins, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep, Carly's from Arkansas. We're all related down here.
I've got a whole bunch that end up being. I either get them from multiple people, because I've got two. These are both from. These are half siblings.
From John?
From John, yep. And then this one down here, I can't zoom in, but he's got some really nice blue on him. This one down here is, gosh, I wish I could get in because he'll take my finger off. He's got some really nice blue on him. Is actually the uncle to your snake's dad. So this is the great uncle to Philip's snake.
Okay.
See, but that's the one interesting part that I love the most when it comes to working designers, is because if you want to sit there and really think about it and process it through your brain, every single blue line and every single calico are somehow, somewhere related. Just because they all come back from the same thing. So you can
Well,
sit there
see,
and-
here's the thing, though. This is not blue line. This is locality.
What is it?
No, he's a Wamena. I don't think he'll let me get close. Maybe he will if I spray him.
Mina Maniquari.
Wamena Maniquari, he's a direct sibling to Kronos.
Did you get that one from Aiden's uncle?
Yeah,
Or from
Ed,
Aiden?
can you not pay attention to me?
Yeah, I've been wanting to talk to Aiden. Aiden's gonna actually hand over a Maniquari Wamina by Giant Pro, the one that he just produced.
Yeah.
But what I really wanted was Wamina Maniquari. I'm gonna be
So
able
that's
to-
this guy. This guy's not in shed.
And that's a direct sibling to Kronos from Garrick?
Yeah, Garrick didn't produce it, but see the blue on him?
Yep.
And he's not in shed.
But that's just a Wamina Maniquari thing. I mean, you go get one of like Gary Trevino's or David Brahms's Maniquaris, you might end up with some really beautiful shit.
Well, see, now let me show you let me show you the first green tree that I actually ever got. I got it for basically free. I got it for $100 in a gecko cage.
Yeah, I know. I heard that story on Tuesday, and if we had a chance to hook up last night, I wanted to hear about your opinion on Craigslist finds, because I have seen some neat ones, but they're on the West Coast, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Man, if you're gonna do a Craigslist find, your best bet is quarantine for 90 days minimum and really get that thing tested for everything. You just never know where it comes from.
Okay, yeah.
And
So
if
this
it's
one's not in shed
there-
either. Ruben, we don't know what this girl is. But when you get her out, she's minty.
Yellow,
And she's got like mint blue stripes on her.
yellow or red Neo.
She was red.
How do you tell? How do
Actually,
people?
we know
how
she
do you
was a
tell
northern.
when they're a red or yellow Neo when they're adults. What's the giveaway?
The eyes.
Hold on and I'll show you. I actually got her when she was her eyes were still red
Okay.
and her pattern was really noticeable. Let me see if I can get somebody.
The eyes, most of the time, even as adults, will give off if it was a red or a yellow Neo. And then to top it off, you can also start being able to tell male or females when they're Neos, speculating on the head shape and what designer lineage they are.
Yeah, that's not always accurate, Ruben.
I know, but hey, I go off of a whim, bro. I'm sorry.
So I don't.
I
I
love
can't.
that one, man.
Huh? Yeah, there's no way that she's letting me get in there, even if I
Yeah.
spray her. I was trying to get it to.
Bro, dude, she is luring harder than anything. I think that's the one thing I don't even step in there. That I wouldn't risk it.
Oh, I
That
know.
one might be my favorite so far, Carly. That one
She
is,
was on the breeding registry, I guess you could say, for the year, but I'm pulling her off. She didn't handle cooling very well.
okay.
So I don't have, because all of mine are designers, I don't have, you can kind of see it on him. And he kind of, yeah, let me see. Let me see what I can do here. Okay. So you were asking about being able to see if
Yeah.
they were red or yellow. Do you see how this guy has got like his triangles look very like they're very pyramidy? They've kind of got like a white or a blue outline to them.
Okay.
Can you tell that?
Yeah, I see it down the dorsal. I don't see the blue. Well, I do on the bottom of the screen, not the upper part, but I can see the blue around the bright green a bit on those triangles there on the lower right, closest to your hand.
Yeah, but you see how they're solid triangles. They're not like wonky mountains.
Okay.
They're solid pyramids.
Yeah.
And then in his eyes, you can tell
They're like silverish.
they're like silverish red instead of yellow.
Like a gold.
So, but you can see like
Yeah.
see like that triangle.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to tell. He's one of my only ones that you can, it's like obvious because his just the way his stuff is. So like I know that one was a red, but you can't really tell.
Now I know, I do know, and I can tell you, when it comes to trying to figure out if you had gotten a red or yellow Neo, if it's designers, you might be in a little bit of a difficult situation for the fact being that the diamonds are never promised to stay the same, so it might
No.
hide a little bit. But now when it
Localities
comes
are
to
where it's
identity-
easy to tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
they'll literally come out and the eyes will be red as she's about to show you right now.
I've seen some of Bill's that are starting to get their melanism, and then they're just incredible. They got red eyes, but the black body, and it's just really something to behold.
Well, but so when you can still see a dorsal pattern, do you see how, like I was showing you on that guy down there, they're like solid, mostly equal shaped
Okay, yeah. Yeah, very much
pyramids.
so.
Versus if you look at this one, do you see how they're like if you look at that right coil, you see how they kind of look like squished mountains.
Yeah, that's how my Biak is. Very irregular.
Yeah, so but they're kind of like squishy, pointy. It looks like somebody made a triangle with Play-Doh and then squished the top of it.
Yellows have
Yep.
like that weird hill messed up structure.
Yeah,
While
it's
you
like
go
a
with the
squished.
red, it's a solid diamond. It's a solid half diamond.
Yep. But
This
like I said, like Ruben was saying, the pattern is not guaranteed to stick around, especially like Beox. Beox will just completely lose their pattern most of the time
Yep. Love
as
it.
they age.
We're not even on one yet.
But like, see this guy? This guy, you can't see his pattern at all. But he
Probably
was a
because
red.
by the sun, you can probably get a little bit of it.
Yeah, no, he was maroon.
Really?
Yeah.
I would never
even
guess
then-
that. His eyes are pretty golden.
This girl, you can't see her pattern either.
She was a yellow though.
Well, yeah,
Right.
no shit. No shit.
Hey. There is some very high yellow red
Uh,
heads out there. And
but you
that.
can't see this guy's pattern at all either.
Nope.
But see, then it's surprising because then you go look at your Calico by SH09169, perfect diamond. So you're able
Yeah,
to.
but he's two. He's two, Ruben.
But still.
Oh.
Plus, anything Calico 95% of the time is a red.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Now this
I got a
guy,
question for ya.
so that's the dad for your snake,
Yep.
Philip, and you can look on his tail at the end and you see his heels that are outlined in blue.
Yes, the photos. I remember the photos of that. I have got them saved on my phone. Very.
Yeah. So again, this animal is not a designer, as much as some people want to say that Garrick stuff is a designer. It's not been proven.
The locality cross.
They're locality crosses. So this guy is the Wamena Manikwari to Jaya.
So basically,
It's a northern mutt.
it's a cousin to the ones that Aiden just produced.
Yeah,
Because
this is
if I'm
northern
correct,
mutt.
So then,
he's using the
what defines
the-
designer, guys? How do you define the word when someone
Having
says
a
it's designer?
designer line in something.
Is 10 plus years of proven phenotypes. 10 is it 10 or 20?
I don't know that there's a specific number, but to sit here and say, so for instance, like this one and this one have John's baby doll. It's not John's. It is
Isn't it Ed's? No.
it's Rob's. Rob Whirl's
Yeah.
baby doll line in it. A specific line. So you've heard, Philip, of people having things like the Calico line. That was
Right.
named I think Calico Jr. was official. I don't know if there's some back and
Yes.
forth as to whether Computer Chondro or Calico Jr. was the first.
No, from the
Okay.
last conversation I had with Christian, it's the computer chondro, and then after the computer chondro managed to be bred back to his sister, they managed to produce the Calico Junior, and from there they just said the
Okay, so it
pixelation
was
kept
computer
improving,
chondro.
they said Calico, and then from there
Yeah,
on,
but that's what you have to have, something that's trace backable, and it has to be proven, a proven phenotype back to back to back to back. In order to sit here and say this is a designer animal.
So like a blue outcross or you know locality cross doesn't qualify, of course, but it
No,
takes a
so
lot more
locality
work.
crosses basically what you've got is you've got localities. So your pure localities would be your pure Aru,
Sure.
Wamena,
BR
Manikwari, Biak. Locality cross, anytime you mix the two of those.
two, three, four of them together for all you care.
Yeah, and it's still a locality cross until you add a specific line, like say Trooper Walsh Blue Line. And then, so for instance, my second pairing that I did this year was a designer because he's got designer lines. He's got several different ones in him mixed to a Biok. So that then becomes a designer outcross.
Because
Okay.
it's no longer a pure designer. The only keep it a pure designer is if she would have done that once paired to another blue design. I mean, another designer. So you keep
Yeah.
designer to designer going. So it's a designer. Now, what exactly it is, it just depends on the animals. Because you can breed a calico from whoever, depending whatever line it is. You can go Mandango. You can go Velvet. I mean, there's hundreds of them. And then you can go ahead and pair it to a direct blue line coming from somebody like CH11011 from Dave D, which is a strong blue line, has everything in that one. I believe it also
Yeah.
has Star Topaz. It's a designer to a designer, but that's mixing two very hard lines, calico and blue line, and you're gonna see what the hell happened. And you probably won't
See,
know.
because like, so this guy is obviously, he's a designer, right? He's calico designer. I could mix him to this girl, but she's a different kind of designer. She's got different lines. So that's designer to designer. Or I could do calico to her down there, which is just calico. But the thing is you can get, people misunderestimate the like importance of mixing. And that's where a lot of the blue line issues have come in. I won't name names, but it's where a lot of the blue line issues have come in because people will sit and they'll do blue line designer, blue line designer, blue line designer, blue line designer back to back to back, and they don't outcross it.
Wow. I would not
Because
have suspected that would be an issue.
yeah, so like I've had two blue line animals that have passed, untimely because of having birth defects that basically catch up with them later in life.
Yeah, it's because at the end of the day, all lineages, Phil, they literally all it's one way or another. It's incest. I mean, if you go back for the calico line, it literally starts with the computer chondro bred to his sister.
Right. Okay.
Well, it's the same thing with Splash. They did Splash is another is a calico line, but it's more like a high yellow based calico line.
And he got bred
They
to
bred it to a Biak.
his offspring. Yeah,
Yeah, and then they bred Splash back to Splash's daughter.
yeah.
So
But
you
that
can
was
get away with one
purity of
generation
calico
of
as
that,
pure
but
as
not
possible.
repeatedly.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to put it down too much. And there are some like I wouldn't mix a calico. Some people may feel differently about this, but like I wouldn't mix a calico with an Aru.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Pretty much the only thing that I would outcross calico to would be Biak. And that could be just my personal preference. But I wouldn't mix calico to Biak and then do that to Biak and then do that to Biak. I wouldn't do that.
It's interesting, and I don't know I mean, I'm not anywhere near needing to even know about reading yet. So it's there's so much more to it than it seems on the surface, and it like how do you get to those bloodlines that end up really melanistic and pixelated? Like someone I really like their animals, and I think they're really unique is Dimitri up in Chicago. I think his stuff is really different from a lot of what's on the market, and I don't know why. I know it says it's Oshie blood, and I don't know enough to tell you why, but it's unique looking animals.
Well, see, and Oshie is actually, that is Eugene Bissett's line, Orphological Services High Yellow. So that's actually a high yellow line.
Oh,
Yeah, That's what the
Um,
HY stands for on it, if I'm
I knew
correct.
that much, but I didn't know the first two letters.
I wouldn't do Calico to Aru just because a lot of the Aru genetics I feel like that people are after. When people want Aru, they want that pretty blue, they want that white
I want.
speckling, and you're not going to see that when you get it mix it with Calico.
You might get some of it and get it pixelated, but you might also just end up with a bunch of weird
Yeah, it's
calico
just a bunch of,
outcast.
it just doesn't mold together really well. So like I have animals that I wouldn't mix together. For instance, like the dad to your snake, Philip, the Garrick, the GG animal. I would
Right.
not mix that animal to one of my high yellow animals. It's not suited for that. That's mixing a blue based locality to a high yellow animal, and I don't know. Could it do something cool? Sure.
But
Do
most
I know
likely,
that?
kind of predictable green animals, right? That are not
Yeah.
as stunning.
Well, and see, here's the thing: is you can actually mix. The wild thing about chondros, and I'm not saying that it would happen. I could mix that insane calico boy up there with a biak, a really nice biak. I've got a really nice black speckled one, and get green snakes.
But they would end up possibly pixelated green snakes. But you also have to take in consideration all of SH9169's kids whenever she was bred over to Velvet. Nobody looks the same from that whole pairing whatsoever.
No, no one looks the same at all.
So putting him with a Biak, you might get green snakes. That's not something you can deny.
Well, that's the thing is
None of
nobody
those green
really
snakes are going to look
knows.
alike at all.
No, nobody has any. That's the thing is I've seen people go out and buy, and I know breeders who are breeding two badass snakes. You are paying entirely too much attention to me. I know people who go and they're breeding these like insanely like crazy snakes, and then they're selling these babies for like 7 grand.
Right.
Can you lock off, dude? They're selling them for like 7 grand, and then they end up green, like green as grass. And like,
I mean,
I
you
don't want to pay no
have
7 grand for a green grass snake.
No.
you have like the example of this isn't really going with it, but it's to show the complete opposite. The pairing that John Irby just did, which was Hot Stuff and Frostbite. It's a heavy calico line mixed over to a heavy blue line animal. And I
Yeah.
actually have absolutely no idea what the hell is going to happen with those pairings.
Nobody really knows until you've done a pairing before. You really don't know what it's going to do. And even then, you could do that's like, Philip, I know you were listening to the podcast that I did the other night. And they asked how many generations do you consider it before you're like, oh yeah, these are going to be blue animals. These are going to be yellow animals. These are going to be black animals. Ultimately, I mean, I probably wouldn't start saying that until they were like 3 generations in, and I've seen it 3 times.
Wow.
Which realistically, depending how early you want to sit there, because you might have the females ready to go, but the males are two different. I mean, you may have the males ready to go, but the females won't. Because I've seen males throw plugs at 18 months. I've heard of males throwing plugs at 4 years. So your male could be incorporated off the bat, but you can also just sit there and be respectful of the animal and wait till they're 4 years old. So you can knock it out in 10 or 15 years, but you could also knock it out in just 20.
Yeah. So, I mean, it takes time. Like I will repeat this pairing that these 2 babies are from. I will repeat this, but like she earned her year off this year. She's got a year off to get nice and fat and happy again. Like she's earned that. I don't back to back breed because I just don't like that.
Yeah, and that kind of sense of patience is already dead set in my mind with Brazilian rainbow boas. You absolutely have to. You got to wait till they're 5. And then, especially when they're their first few years of breeding, you should give them one off. That's why I have 3 girls and 2 boys. One's a backup male. And so, yeah, year 1, I should be good to go in 26. I got a girl over 4 foot and like 1,300 grams. She's about 2.5. In about 26, she should go, and then in the next year she gets off, and a different female's of size, and in the third year, the first and the third girl get to go, and so on and so forth. So that mentality is important. I think it's unique in the Python world a little bit, but in the boa world, I mean, you would know. You work with boas. I think that's kind of you already have that writing on the wall going into it.
They're all entirely too locked on. But no, so I mean, it's the ultimate thing is nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Unless you're maintaining the same lineages back to back, you have a pretty solid idea. If you sit there and you put a sky topaz blue line animal mixed over to like an SH 01588 animal, you know you're most likely going to get some maybe some super blues, maybe some true blues, but you're going to get some melanism in there because of that blood. Like, you're going to get blue animals. Now, if you sit there and you throw it to a calico, again, you really will not know because it hasn't been done consecutively back to back with the same bloodlines to see if it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's where it comes in, and all designer lines start somewhere. They all start from localities. So
1973.
they go back for a hot minute. But I mean, so there's not anything saying that, for instance, like Garrick, what he's doing, like he is getting some very blue animals out of these localities. He absolutely, if he keeps up with it for several years, is going to have his own line. I don't have any doubt about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, it's showing in some of the pairings where he gets amazing blue animals. I know. I think it was the Wamina Manaquari by Wamina Manaquari. He ended up having a solid blue animal, a solid black animal with blue, and then one that looked like it was gonna go high yellow. So you ended up having all three possible phenotypes, and then he also had some of those siblings going green on other people. If he repeats that one later on with the same blood, but younger siblings, but not trying to keep the sibling going, which you might have to. All right, look, it's proven again, and then you got to do it again, and then again, and then maybe like Carly said, maybe a third, possibly the fourth time. At that point, can you say, okay, look, I'm gonna sell you this animal, and it's either gonna come out blue, it might come out green, it might come out black, it might come out high yellow.
So then it sounds like you're back to square one, because that's kind of what we all expect out of any chondro, right?
I mean, that really is. That really, at the end of the day, it is. I had people when I was selling babies, this year, that were like, "Oh, what do you think it's going to look like?" I have no idea.
That's
I have
the
no
reason you
clue.
don't. Because if I'm correct, yours were a designer outcross.
So I did one designer outcross, and then I did one locality mix.
And then give or take on the price range. I know it might be TMI, might be not something you state, but on the designer outcross, what was the price range? Not really your set price, but what would have been the range on them?
So I held back. I held back 4 reds. I did have 5 reds, but as you know, one of them went to Sony.
Mm-hmm.
I held back 5 reds. Like, had I sold any of those 5 reds, I probably would have done $3,500. Because they were really nice. They're all either really dark or they've got really wicked patterns or like really intense, like burnt orange. The siblings that I had, so I did sell some reds that were more what I would say a normal red. I sold those for $3,000.
See, and that's valid, but I know that once you finish proving it, once they get 2, maybe 3 years old, and you're able to see exactly what they came out at,
Yeah.
and people are like, you know what? Those were some really beautiful animals. Who produced them? Oh, Carly. Hey, Carly, you repeating this pairing? Yes. At that point, you can sit there. You can now know, all right, may I up the price? Do I keep the price? Do I maybe lower the price?
Well, see,
then
and
at that point, you
that's where it
now
at.
see
The
what
first, that's what. So like, there's a couple of people. I know not in names, but there's a couple of people that I know that basically they got babies this year, and they're first time babies, and they are like, I want like 45, 55, $6,500 out of it. And I'm like, listen, they're really nice babies, but you don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
And I would feel bad to charge somebody, you know, with the exclusion of like, yeah, when I breed the two calicos together, I'm not going to be asking $3,500.
No, because you have the strength in the blood to be able to still charge the price.
Yeah.
Because even then, like,
Yeah. But I can tell you, you know, if they all end up like the dad, they're going to be upwards of what I paid for him.
yeah, because I mean, when it came to the ones that Steven Saltzman did, the one that I have, we have a group chat, and every single one of us is in it. So every single person that has a clutch mate is in that group chat, and we periodically just update pictures as we start seeing changes. So we get to see how they're all different. And I'm gonna tell you right now, being such a potent blue line animal with partial calico and the very slight possibility of head albino, none of them are really going the same route, but then they're also technically going the same route. Mine is completely black, hasn't done nothing else but go completely black. There's like 2 or 3 that show heavy melanism, and they are coming out bluish green all the way through. And then you have one that is going straight super blue all the way through. Like there's nothing coming out of that animal but blue.
Yeah.
And he repeated
Well, I mean,
that
that is
he just
so, like-
ovulated. So that there's gonna be another round of those babies coming out. But now he
Oh,
knows,
yeah.
look, all of these animals came out fucking wicked. He now knows either he can keep the same price he did the first round because he didn't know what was gonna happen, which the price was still it was well deserved. It was a well deserved asking price.
Yeah, because he had the genetics were there.
Yeah. So now if he upped
The
it,
pricing
that's
for
what I was like,
potential.
I respect it. I'm still possibly gonna get a second one. I'm on the list, so I will get a second one on that. Why? Because
Go get one before I do. I'm on the list before you.
What number are you?
Huh?
What number are you?
I'm like way up there because I asked him before he had the first batch.
Carly, I'm number 2 again.
Yeah, you ain't doing it. Ooh, yawn.
You just got bumped.
I did not get bumped.
No, not you, Ruben. I'm just giving him a
Yeah.
hard time.
But no, so I mean it's my thing is
I asked to not be that ahead in the line to make it fair for everybody, but I am in the lines to be able to catch one again for the second round, but I don't care how this one looks this time. Just because I seen the crazy ones and I seen the more normal ones, and they both went in some very stupid directions. So
they
with
did.
that,
They
I
went
know-
very
I know-
wild. That was a very good pairing.
that
And
was-
he did it the right way. He waited. He like hardcore saved up for those animals and went in heavy hitters. You know, I kind of started with what I could get at the time and went from there. But I mean, I passed up. So that back in 2019, and obviously prices were way different in 2019.
More or less.
Way less. Way less. I was offered a Neo from one of the TLS clutches. I don't know if you've seen those, Ruben.
Yes, and I really till this day keep trying to find one.
Yeah, so I was offered
wait,
one
wait,
for
wait.
$900.
Oh, you're
Dang.
referencing slash Biak?
Yep.
Yeah. See, I knew exactly what you're talking about.
I was offered for $900 and I didn't take it.
Oh my
And I
God.
have kicked myself in the butt because they figured out how awesome those ended up. And then the price instantly went up and everybody got on a list and they were hard to get. So honestly and truly, the biggest gamble that I think that you can take for never paired animals before is getting from a first clutch. That's the biggest gamble you can take because it can end up in your best favor. Or it could end up you got a green snake. That is what it is.
But to me,
That's how it is.
If the lineage is there, fucking send it respectfully. If the lineage is there,
But it's not
That's my
always
opinion.
just because the lineage is there.
well, I mean, if you
That's
have
what I'm
proof
telling
of
you.
if you have proof of how so and so looks and how so and so looks from dad's side, and then you have, like, I'm buying an animal from Not Anubis. Reptiles. I'm trying to remember his name.
If you're not talking about Anubis, then I know who you're talking about.
No, 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 no.
I don't know if this picture doesn't really. So, I don't know if this picture doesn't really. Whoa. So where'd Ruben go? No, if this picture doesn't really.
Hang on, let me see if I can fix that echo. Hang on, let me see if I can fix that echo. Let me see. I don't know where that's coming from. That's me or where that's coming from? Carly, I ruined it. Try that.
Is that better?
It is. Yes, yes.
Okay. Good Lord.
Okay. I don't know what the hell just happened.
I don't know what happened. I was trying to show a picture of this guy because his cage light's really dim. But this guy, so this is the dad to my second clutch.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, he's easily one of the plainest snakes that I have. But the genetics on both of his sides are wild. But see, I mean, he's not super fancy.
So then, do the babies have higher hope? Like, I've heard it kind of skips a generation. Like the grandparents can give more keys than the parents themselves. Is that true at all, or no?
I have heard some of that.
I've heard some of that, but I mean, whenever it comes to high potency lines, I haven't seen it. I've seen where it's like kids back to back, where maybe a clutch will be 10 eggs and 8 of them look great. Next one, all 10. Next one, it'll be like 4 of them, but you're still getting consistent every single clutch. Somebody's coming out amazing.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing is, I know he had clutch mates that ended up more wild than he is, but I know those genetics are in him. Because that male was Popcorn Sissy, which Popcorn was, that caliber yellow over there. Hey, Kevin. So he was Popcorn Sissy to Duffman Lucia, like we've already talked about, is a sibling to, Sunshine. And I'm not sure. Have you seen Obama, Clyde Claus's?
I haven't at all. No.
No,
I have.
Ruben's gone.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that animal is insane. That animal is like, she's gorgeous. She's wild. But so like those genetics are in there, and like some of his siblings ended up wild. He's not that wild, but he'll chase a female to the ground and breed her. So I'm not upset about that.
The Steven animal, it was just without a question. The minute I ever seen Singularity, I was like, dude, have you ever breed him? I want in. This was like 3 years before he even paired it. Singularity was probably like 1.5 years old. And that man kept his fucking word. Like that man
He does.
managed to hit me up and he said, hey, so I just finished pairing them and I seen 2 very beautiful, consistent locks. And I was like, oh, hell yeah.
What round thing?
Huh?
Kevin, that's a water bowl. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Kevin's a keeper. He's got emeralds and he's a chondro keeper. He hangs out with us. So
That's
I don't know.
Well, that's a water bowl.
Right. Go to the right.
Go to the right. Oh, that.
Yeah. Middle cage. Yeah, that. What is that?
So that is I used to have the cameras that I use, which are these cameras right here. They're janky because I use these cameras when I'm pairing them.
Oh.
And they used to, let me see if I can get the tape off of this one. That's the base for the camera. But for some reason, when I popped the camera off, I can't pop it back on.
Now, we'll ask this. It's not being biased or anything whatsoever. I had black box before. What was your preference over black box compared to focus cube? What is it about black box that you liked more over focus cube?
So for starters, black box is cheaper.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of their cages a bit more. Because Focus is nice, but there's a lot of bells and whistles that I super don't need.
Huh.
I super just am not a big fan of them. So there's that for starters. Secondly, I hate building cages. You are not going to catch my ass building cages.
They're not by you. They're not by you.
Black box?
I mean, focus.
No, Focus is not by me, so I would have
Focus is like an hour from my
to.
house. So that's why.
I would have to like ship Focus cages.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want to freight stuff. It's very expensive. And I also don't want to. I don't want it to come in collapse and then have to build it. I drive to Atlanta to get these already built. The only thing that we have to do is to add the perches and the plants and the snake and the lights. Right. That's all I have to do. So these cages, so I get them with the heat panel in them. I do not get the lights in them. I put the lights in myself. I use an aquarium light. And I obviously don't get the perches in them, but just the cage, these are 24 by 24 cages, at least the 3 rows on the bottom. And then the top row is a little bit of a different size, but, and then the top row is a little bit of a different size.
That's so whack. That's the weirdest thing, that damn Echo. This app is buggy, I will tell you that. You asked about animals. So exotic, I use animal plastic racks because I like them and they're some of the most affordable, but Vision and Animal Plastics is several rungs down below Black Box or Focus Cube or God forbid Toad Ranch. It's just a different stratosphere.
I have a mix. My racks are sea serpents and or focus cubed. My enclosures are focus cubed, and then I have my adult retic. She's in a home built enclosure.
Yeah, that kind of comes to the territory with retics, though, brother. Like with them things, if you ain't crafty or have a whole room to dedicate when they're adults, you're in for some trouble, ain't it?
Yeah. She's barely 3 years old, but I had a friend that had some spare PVC sheets.
Yep.
Oh wait, Carly's saying to let her back in.
Is she back in? Okay, I'll be right there.
I'm coming. Oh yeah, I can't finish this conversation now. I feel bad. I gotta wait for Carly to hurry up.
I'm coming.
I'm gonna talk my smack because she can't hear me and she can't really do much right now. But
You get it in, Ruben. Get it, baby.
Okay, there. The damn echo, I can't handle it.
Nobody can. It's terrible. It's the worst thing when it does that.
So it's like I have the focus cube, and then I built the enclosure because my friend gave me, he sold me for really cheap, 3 sheets of PVC. And so I used it to build my large retix enclosure. And then at one point, the one that I gave my female Cyclops, the one who just was a dam to the recent clutch, I gave her a 3x2x2 using those 3 sheets. And the sheds were mid. 1 minute I'd get a perfect 1-piece shed, and the next minute I'd end up getting like really chopped up sheds. Ever
Did
since
you seal
I
it?
Huh?
Did you seal it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But the minute I switched over to the focus cube one, she maintained giving me a good shed. Now she was also in a black box prior, and when she was in the black box, they were 36 by 18 by 18. She would always consistently give me a 1-piece shed. My male on the other page, that man had to be given a shower, and that cage was sealed. So
Hmm.
I took the risk whenever I went focus cubed because I was like, it may not really just be the cage. It might just be he's really lazy and doesn't hydrate, even though I spray him enough, and he's just not giving me good sheds. But probably like 3 months into owning the focus cube, he shed right off the bat, and then like 3 months later, he shed again. That was the first initial one single piece shed, and ever since then, he hasn't he hasn't failed. But I'm also able to adjust the humidity to a peak because of all the little I think you said bells and whistles. I guess that's the perfect way to say it. I'm too Mexican to remember.
Too Mexican. Woo! I was gonna open and see if that one wanted to come out, but that's a no.
Who that?
That is my Drew Russell animal.
Ah. See, I will tell you this, Phil. Um, Other than the Cyclops, I probably won't legitimately own any localities. I might get a Patrick Holmes Biog because it's Patrick Holmes. So Biog, that's the most legitimate thing you could possibly do. And anybody can defend that one. I do have two designer outcrosses that are going to be coming. I mean, one's not exactly a designer outcross; it's technically more of a locality outcross. But I have one that is coming from John Irby that is mixed with a Biog that I'm hoping is female, so I can keep bringing it back to other stuff. And then I have one coming from Gary Trevino, which I'm not too sure if Tamika is a designer or that's a locality, but I'm getting a Tamika by Aru. That's it on localities on my part.
Tamika's nice though.
That's one
Yeah, I'll
I've
go
never
crazy.
really seen or can identify much. I never see him around.
Do you want to come off?
You're ballsy for trying to fuck right in front of me.
It's a basin, Ruben.
I just don't trust anything that's like I don't know. The bows just fucking scare me. I want one. Don't get me wrong. I'm just scared.
I wouldn't do a regular northern emerald this way. Hell no, I wouldn't.
I can't believe their attitude's so different from one to
I'll
the
gladly,
other.
I'll gladly take a bite from my retic before I take a bite out of one of those.
Oh, I know,
What?
right? Their teeth. Philip, have you ever seen their teeth?
I have, and still photos. Yeah, they're longer than a green trees for sure.
They're the longest of any non-venomous.
Yeah, I didn't
I
know
wouldn't
that,
I
but
wouldn't
I
go
have
down there
seen.
and grab that northern out. Like I absolutely would not do that. And especially this is 9 o'clock at night.
I love that heavy white snowy look though.
I can't get
Who's this
close.
from?
Huh?
Who's this
This
from?
is Hi Gwen from Naked Dragons.
Nope. Got no idea.
This is my pain in the butt because it eats live.
Ah, damn it.
But I mean, it is like these snakes don't bite.
Dude, my Cyclops, my only legitimate holdback, is the only one that decided to be a snaggy eater, and it's pissing me the hell off.
Kevin, you can come get my big northern girl out. I'd pay you $100 to do it right now.
Bro,
You
that's more than
could
my airplane to get there, and you expect me to get there? Nah, I'm good.
shoot. I wouldn't get her out to save my life right now, nor would I get that scrub out.
Scrub. I love the scaling on Scrub's heads. I mean, it reminds me of a cobra, but I don't think I would get into owning them just for their size
The
or
large,
temperament.
the large
Oh no,
scales
you
remind me of
wouldn't,
both the
Ruben.
Cobra, but they also remind me of a Bolins.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on removable perches, but they're 4 foot long, and you wouldn't get your arm in there.
I'm tempted. I want to try it.
This girl's like 6 feet.
Dang, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
That doesn't play on camera at all.
No,
Wow.
her
What's she on, large rats or medium?
medium to large.
My large.
The thickest part around her is as big as my forearm. And I know that because I've held her. She's 7.
My female Cyclops, the one that just gave me the clutch, she is like 6 feet 3 inches, give or take. The last time we measured her.
No, she don't. There's no way. I can't really get as close as I could to show you because I'm not opening that door.
I actually want you to. I want to see what
No,
the
hell
consequences
no.
are.
No. She ate yesterday, and I still am not about to give her. I'm not about to open that door.
Yeah, I knew you were scared.
No, those teeth, yeah. You're damn skippy. I'm not opening the door for this one either.
See, I love that head. I truly do love that head. Pause. No homo. What happened?
Yeah, that scale on that head, I mean, that just screams Cobra to me. I love those.
And she doesn't even look as long as she is, but she's easily 10 feet.
Holy shit.
No, she's in a really, ignore the fact that she's in a really small cage. The cages are being built.
No, it was Paxton whenever I went to the Mercado.
10 foot? I would never guess that.
Oh my God. So so she's really good. I need to clean my glasses. She's really good when I get her out. But you got to get out of this. But I have to Greg has to help me because she can be like halfway out and she's like already going up the side of this cages, or she's over here knocking stuff down. And I'm still trying to undo her tail from back there.
That's wild. Are they real?
I'll have to get her out.
Are they super active? That's what it seems like I've seen before. That
Yeah,
real
they are.
busy.
I don't know. Let me see how much of a mood he's in. Because he might.
Don't be a hero. Don't be a hero.
Let me see if he'll come out. Hold on. I'm gonna set you down for a minute. Hey, dude, you want to come out and show the world how pretty you are? Shh, 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 shh. Yeah, you're fine. Come on. Come show the world how pretty. I've got a male, and he is 2 years old. You don't realize how long these snakes are until you actually get them out. This guy is in shed, so he's really not happy with me. All right, there we go. I'm coming back. Hold on. Let me set him down. Gosh, you were in shed. I'm sorry. All right.
There you are.
So, like, this is the 2-year-old male. You come show everybody in the light. But even he is like easily a third the size of her.
Right. Their head is so oversized for their slender neck. Wow.
I know. I call them the LeBron James of snakes because they're like really long. But I mean, like, he's long. Yeah, they are slender.
When did you
But
start
oddly
keeping
enough,
scrubs? I didn't know
this
you
guy
kept them.
eats like small rats, which is wicked. But they're hard to deal with because they're so flippin' long. I'm sorry.
Okay,
So
but why do you have him again? Where's your answer? How are you defending yourself on this?
how am
In
I
this
defending? Because
position?
I like them. Because they're so ungodly. Here we go. Look.
Jesus Christ.
Mind you, he's 2 and a third the size of her. He is easily, I don't know if he'll let me stretch him out anymore. I mean, that's him on the floor, and he's coming up to about my chest, and he's still curled around.
It's still curling.
6, 7?
He's probably as tall as me, and I'm 5'8".
Nah, you're like 4'3", dude.
No, I'm not. I don't know if there's a way that I could convince him. Let me see. Will you crawl
He's
along?
out. He doesn't just have the 3 perches. He has an actual climbing structure. He's not gonna want to stay put.
Will you stretch out some, dude?
He's gonna go for your big toe.
But I mean, see, like, yeah, he's easily every bit of like 4, somewhere between 4 and 5.
Huh?
Like feet. No, he's probably longer. I don't know. Don't ask me, y'all. I don't know what 6 inches really looks like.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you didn't say meters, because I would have been like, you tripping.
Oh.
Yeah, their slenderness really just doesn't let on to how long they are. That's pretty wild.
I mean, he's folded in half. He's got a hold of a cord.
It's just weird because you're holding him, and he's so long, and it's just so skinny. It's
So
like
skinny.
Amazon tree boas. They make
Look
they
at
make
it.
me feel so uncomfortable.
I mean, that right there is, 2.
24.
That's over 24, and he's folded and curled up at the end.
Yeah, I'd say he's about 4 feet. About 4 feet.
But see, they're not bad when you get them out.
It's the getting out where it's a struggle.
Yeah, I know. I was going to see if I could get him over here next to her,
All right,
but he's like,
Now let's do that. Let's do that northern emerald tree boa over there.
no negative. That's a no from me. She is not slender, and she is not fine when you have her out. But see, if that gives you any context, get down there next to her.
Yeah, she is way more thick in the neck.
See how thick she is. That's your man. And they are 100% semi-arboreal. Okay, you can go back in there.
That's
I'm sorry.
I think the only other species I will probably be adding to the collection probably be 2025. I'll probably get a Bolin's.
Sure you will.
I've spent the
one
same
from
amount
Flood,
on a
those ones we saw in
chondro.
Dallas, dude.
Kevin, man, I was getting ready for bed. Also, who walks around their house in shoes?
I'm wearing slides right now. Does that count?
No.
I wear Crocs when I'm downstairs. Sometimes. I prefer to just wear socks.
No, I don't have any corn snakes. Do y'all?
No.
No, I don't got none.
No. I don't. It would take something really special to get me into colubrids. I'm not. No.
That ain't me.
No, not me. The
Carly, why you
mandarin.
doubting me on me getting a Bolin's?
What are you going to do with the Bolins? Ruben, let's be honest here, honey. What are you going to do with it?
Breed them later on in life?
You do understand that you can't just have a Bolins to do that.
No, you need 3 males and a single female. I've had the conversation with Flood for like 4 hours straight.
Yeah, isn't that wild? How it's backwards. It's so weird.
That, Philip, is what Book Talk calls a reverse harem.
Okay.
It's called the one meme where it's like 5 guys and then 1 girl on the couch.
Yeah, that's called a reverse harem.
Sure. I don't know, bro. I'm literally 18 hours away from the United States, and you're wondering if I understand English to a full extent.
I don't think that you understand English to a full extent when you're sitting right next to me.
Point proven. Point proven.
But no, I Greg
If
wants
we're gonna be
Bolin's.
talking about reverse hands, you need to change the whole video to like 18 plus for at least the next 45 seconds.
I'm not.
No,
Bolin's
I want
require
one.
way too much.
I want one. I've wanted one, and I understand the price range, but I'm pretty sure come around the time I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take a break from chondros. Let me go ahead and invest into Bolins. Then I'll be like, all right, cool. Oh, look at that. They dropped a little bit. Saves me a little bit.
They dropped 1,000.
You may as well buy two at that
Thousands
point.
of thousand, buddy. That's the whole cage. That's a whole cage right there.
You are not going to get no Bolin's cage for $1,000. You need like a 8x6.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big they were until very recently. I saw a photo one of that.
The first
Huge.
2 years, you only need a 4x2x2.
No,
if
but
you
you're
get 'em-
eventually going to need an 8x6.
Okay, eventually.
Eventually, you're going to do that.
I would've-
They don't live together 24/7, Ruben. You're going to do that
I know.
4
Carly.
times over.
You're being very, very hostile, and I feel threatened at the moment.
Didn't you say that you were going to start calling me your chondro big sister? This is me big sistering you into some
Nah,
common
bro.
sense.
See. I mean, okay, yeah, you got a valid point. I guess I'll give you that one. All right, never mind.
Yeah. Somebody has to do it.
Yeah, everybody's like usually like, do it, spend the money. And I'm like, I bet.
Kevin said he saw some Bolins on Facebook Marketplace for under a K. Yeah, okay. What were they? Cartoon drawings?
The day I see a Bolins for 1K and it is from a reputable breeder and or seller/reseller, I will sell that man 1K and be like, that's for the Bolins. You have 30 days. I'm not wasting time.
No, I don't have. Philip has. Oh, the 8-foot enclosures. Yeah, Philip has ball pythons. I don't have ball pythons.
Yeah, I don't have any available. It's all breeding stock right now. Carefully curated to my fancy.
You ain't gonna find no ball pythons in my house.
Oh,
You'll find face-eating northerns, which makes no sense.
You gotta look up the Bolins. They're so pretty. I love them.
Once you go Bolins, I mean, it's like going chondros. Once you do one, you can never go back.
Nah, you can't go back.
you can't.
I did ball pythons for a minuscule amount of time, and I got so bored so
Really?
quickly. Oh my god, I was like, these are boring rocks.
You know what I think the thing is? So I went into this back. Well, I've been doing reptiles for 30 years, but I mean, I got into this seriously with the goal to breed because I wanted green tree python and Brazilian rainbow boas for literally 30 years, and it's something that was just been a love affair of mine since the 90s, man. And I finally was just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it and do it. And I actually backed into ball pythons. I'm not a ball python guy that fell in the chondros. I went the other direction, and I like the genetics and the ability to play with the genes and what you can learn about it. That's my favorite thing with ball pythons is the shocking colors and patterns. But
Yeah, so I mean, you say that, but here I just showed you a green snake. This is a yellow snake, and then up there is a black snake. So I mean, and they're all the same species. So I mean, you've got
it's true.
genetics.
It's the same.
Yeah,
It's the
it's true,
same
but
style
the ball
of boxes,
pythons
just
are a
not
lot
the
more
green
forgiving, and there's a lot more pattern variation. There's like there's hypomelanism. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you, it's pretty interesting.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, you're gonna go breed 2 fancy ball pythons together, and still liable to end up with $50, $75, $100
That's not true. That's not
babies
true.
versus
Nope.
no, but hear me out. I can breed a green snake to a green snake to get a red snake and a yellow snake, and those reds and yellows, they the same price, and they're not $100.
Right, right. You don't have as much of a byproduct crapshoot
Look,
with them. That's entirely true.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna explain it perfectly, but I feel when it comes to ball pythons, you're gonna be able to sit there and you're gonna put, let's say, like 2 heads on both sides. So you got double head, and they're same way. You're still not promised that they're all gonna come out being a double visual, but you might end up with one visual, one head, and then completely opposite on the other ones. So you still get like the gamble play that you do with chondros, where if you put a calico and a calico, you know that they're not all going to be the same calico. It's the same thing with ball pythons. You might not get the same thing all the way through. And that's always the fun part to enjoy.
Yeah, but my thing is like that was my thing is like if I'm breeding two ball pythons together, you know, you're going to get a range, a low range all the way up to high range, and you know exactly what that is. If I'm breeding two green tree pythons together, I set a price for my reds, I set a price for my yellows. I don't know what they're going to be. So it is the price for the red, it is the price for the yellow, and it's still more than most ball pythons. I wanted the bang for my buck and more work.
There, I mean, you think about it, you need 10 years, 10 to 15 years to be able to sit there and have a consistent phenotype when it comes to green trees and have what you could consider a lineage.
Yeah.
And at
I
that
also
point,
like
you can
things
sit
that
there
hate me more.
You can promise.
Huh.
You can also
At least you admit it. At least you admit it.
I like things
When it comes
that are more angry. Anger
Well,
makes the
no,
world
I'm going to
move.
remind you of this conversation, Carly, the next year or two. And when I show you some stuff, you're going to go, okay, well, shit. You know what, Phil? That actually is pretty cool. How much does that snake go for? No
The
shit.
day you get me to buy a ball python is the day I roll over in my grave.
I didn't say buy one. I said admire one, okay?
That is the day I roll over in my grave.
Admire one. Listen, I always kind of thought of, since we started talking, back in March, I always thought of you as like a mentor. You've always taught me something good every time we've chatted. So I figured the least I can do is show you my efforts and then wow you someday in the near future with the ball python, because I ain't gonna wow you with a green tree. That's gonna take forever. But if ever at all. But I might be able to wow you at some point. That's my hope.
Oh, I definitely think they're pretty. They're just not for me.
They are boring in their habits and in what they do, but I just think the genetics and stuff is super cool. But that's just me.
There's your baby.
Yeah, I love that solid stripe down the back. It really does stand out from its clutch mates, and it just really is. It's a good pick. You lined me up with a good one.
Kevin, this is Philip's snake. Don't know if you've shown him. Philip.
No, I did one. I did one little post long ago, but I haven't really. No, I haven't. Till it's he or she's here. I was just kind of laying low. Yeah, that dorsal stripe does it for me. I can't wait to see what's in its future. And look at those diamond peaks. They're really edged so nicely compared to
typical yellows.
like a lot of
Yep.
yellows. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Philip's number 3.
Whose is that one? I'll buy it off of you right now.
Negative. I've been thinking about this thing for months. You kidding me? You couldn't buy it off me. At this point, I'm just sentimental. I mean, if nothing else.
I also, am not gonna lie, I really love it because here it is, like the snake's going back to my hometown.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that so crazy?
Ugh.
It's gonna come live in the hometown. It's like a full circle moment.
Oh, it is a full circle moment. I wish I could get closer, but when I get close, it like blurs out.
That thing is a hearty eater. I mean, there is no hiding that. Look at the girth on the side of
No.
the thighs. Yeah, exotic.
Very much
I'm getting
complex.
this one, and I got another one I'm gonna be getting in the spring.
I don't know how to zoom in, Kevin.
Yeah, that'll be my second right there, exotic, and a third in the spring once the weather changes and it's got some months under its belt.
Yeah, I don't know how to zoom in.
I guess you can't when you're in boxes, he said. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Just press the button, bro. Just press the button. It's not that hard.
Shut up, Ruben.
Pinch and drag. I don't know.
Who's shooting shit?
Oh, I'm in Mexico, bro. I don't know how.
I was gonna say that, but I don't want to be rude.
This clutch is wild. Ruben, I
Ma'am.
think you sold a babe. No, maybe you didn't. Maybe you did. But did you sell a baby to Luke at Crested Creations? No, that was Daniel. That's DeLuca. I was thinking for a minute. I thought maybe you sold something to him.
Yeah. I haven't. The only one that for. The only one that's for sure sold. Do you have a lighter?
Yes, I did. Someone did try to break in yesterday. Yeah.
Break into what?
The house, so I would lock the outside door.
Didn't I lock it?
No.
Ruben's dumbass is in Mexico, not locking
No,
doors.
I've only 100% secured selling one to. Mm-hmm.
We've got Philip, I think your baby has got like 27 meals in it now.
Dang. Do you think it can go up to a 12 quart? Do you think it'd keep it in a 6?
No, yeah, it definitely can.
That's figured.
Yeah, I mean it's really out of
I will
space.
be honest. I never keep. I don't do a 12-quart jump.
What do you
What do you
jump
do?
to?
What the heck do you do, Ruben?
Year to a year and a half mark. A year to a year and a half mark, I'll go to the Cambro.
Oh, okay. I haven't gotten my Cambros in yet.
Hello?
He said hello.
Sorry. I'm no longer in Wi-Fi, so I'm playing God right now.
Trojan Lee up there.
Actually, I think your signal sounds better.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Most likely the fact that I'm wearing my earbuds now.
Oh, he's asking me about that ball python. Oh, no, he was asking me about that ball python. That's what Tim's asking. I had him on the screen. No, it's from Canova. Tim, it's a yellow belly leopard, Enchi, jungle woma, het clown, het pied. So there's that.
I'm sorry,
It's
come back with that.
Yellow
Jesus
belly
Christ.
leopard, Enchi, jungle woma, het clown, het pied is what that is. That's a girl, a powerful girl I got for a very specific project that I'm improving upon out of the UK. But it's that one, that snake actually is Canova.
Jesus Christ. See, that's the one thing I do dislike about ball pythons. You got to hit them with the whole alphabet to tell them what's in their blood.
Powder puff, jingle jangle, cupcake, womana, whatever.
Keep talking. I'm gonna show you. You're gonna see.
Can I hold one of these?
Man, don't take it there.
I mean, sure.
I mean, maybe. Doubtful, but maybe. Not Phillips. It ain't gonna be Phillips. I can tell you that much.
Spicy and a chunker. I love it.
I don't know if that'll let me.
I'm gonna warn y'all. There's gonna be a certain time where I'm gonna realize it's too goddamn loud, and I will just drop out this car because I'm in the middle of like a very religious celebration. So they have like 15 mariachis and bandas all playing. So it's gonna be a little hectic.
That's cool. What kind of
So if it
celebration?
gets loud, I will probably hang up in the respect to everybody else. It's like celebrating all of the saints out here.
Okay.
So at 6 in the morning, at 10 in the morning, and at 2 p.m., they do a full walk through the whole town, city, and they like represent the saint of the day, and they're having like different people performing and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's the reason I'm here.
Right on.
Also the alcohol.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, look at you. Carly's over here just free handling.
This one's in shed, so it's not as angry.
You check this one out, Carly. This one is not in shed, but it looks like it. It's a hypo.
Ruben's got all sorts of stuff. That's my number one hold
See,
back.
it just got real beaner real quick.
She said beaner. Oh my god.
Just I already got lit up like 3 times. You got to know how to do it. But they can light me up. They've done it before. We're about to be real ballsy, so we're about to see how ballsy I can get here.
See, make it make sense how my whole deck is the feistiest one out of everything in that whole room. And it's the only one that will not eat off of.
It's the only one that won't what? I don't know if I want to do
Eat
that.
off of tongues.
Nah,
I
I
have to
would
give
have
it
messed
live.
that one.
I don't know if I want to do that. We'll see. Nope.
Oh.
Don't bite. Nah, he got me.
He said, "There you go, Mom. That's for you."
I know. He skimmed me. Oh, Ruben said bye. I mean, after 8, it's really like,
Oh, you're taking a huge risk.
yeah. Don't bite me. You're thinking about it. But don't do it.
When you gonna be around again? We get a cup of coffee. Going back
I am
through?
done traveling for right now,
Yeah.
given the circumstances
Right.
for a little bit. So I am done traveling. I was going to, don't do it. I was going to Tinley, but I'm not gonna go to Tinley.
Yeah. It ain't
Don't
worth
do it.
wearing yourself out and the stress of it. I mean, that's a long way from where you are.
Yeah, don't do it. But yeah, so this one's yours. So it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely would prefer to eat right now. No, Kevin, I can't, man. I've got so much shit going on. I just can't.
Can you tame them enough to hold? I think that's kind of almost, I guess, to an extent, but it's their own personal attitude. It's either yes or no, almost, isn't it?
It's very counterintuitive. They're really. The thing is, so like I don't hold, and like I don't recommend that people hold babies
No.
like at all, really, because see, he's locked onto my face. Because they're very defensive. I mean, these animals right here, this one right here is, how many months are we from March?
April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7. I had to take my shoes off. 7.
Yeah, so we're 6 months out. And they're significant in size. This is significant in size compared to what it was 6 months ago.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I think I sent one of your siblings out the other day, and it weighed like 38 grams. And they hatched out at like 9-10 grams.
Good night.
Yep. So, I mean, you know, they are very defensive, which is why they're red and they're yellow, because they're cryptic colors. They're basically saying, hey, don't eat me. I'll make you sick to your stomach. Don't eat me. And so they're basically trying to warn people. So they're going to be really defensive for the first little bit. They're not easy by any means. I have some that I can hold, not right now, because it is 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
But I have some that I can reach in. The dad to this one, as long as he knows, yep, thank you. As long as he knows that he's not eating, is quite tame. You know, so that's him. That's the dad. Kevin, you were asking earlier. So that's the dad.
Exotic. I don't think that's a thing, dude. If someone's asking about, can you put a familiar article of your own in there so they can have a familiarity with your scent? But I don't think that's really.
Yeah, I don't think that would work. I also don't trust them not to eat it. You're laughing, but I've seen these snakes eat some dumb shit before.
I've heard, yeah, like puppy pads and just like stupid stuff.
No. But yeah, I mean, like, so this guy right here, I can reach in and grab him. He's the biggest male that I have got. Generally speaking. Oh yeah. Let me see. We're gonna try this again and see if it doesn't do weird shit. But I have a picture. I think it's actually of yours.
Really?
Yeah, right when it first hatched out. I think it's yours. I can tell you once I look at it. Yeah, it's yours.
Yeah, I remember that photo. Yep.
So, I mean, that was fresh hatched of the same snake that y'all were just looking at. This was 6 months ago.
And that's your favorite. It's just so tiny when they first. It's amazing.
No. So that was 6 months ago, the same snake. And then I have another one that shows. People don't realize. They have no freaking idea how small these things are.
How nerve-wracking is it cutting an egg when they're... Jeez, look at that. That is something.
The eggs are tiny, too. Yeah, so this one that's on the screen right now, the red one, it shows it's loading on my screen, but I'm assuming you can see that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's clear as day. Yeah, it's a good-looking photo.
So that one was the largest one. Thanks, Kevin. That one was the largest one out of that clutch. It was 10 grams when it hatched out.
That's the largest. Jeez.
Yeah, yours was 9 grams when it hatched out. And the smallest one was 6 grams.
Jeez.
I
What
have
do
a
you do to
picture.
get a weight on them? Just put them on a little stand, like on their.
I put them in a little
cup
bowl.
and then tear it out when you get them on a scale, or what?
I put them in a little bowl.
That one's mine, isn't it?
Yeah. As an itty bitty 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 baby. They're tiny. People don't really realize how tiny, but they are tiny.
I mean, don't your heart just race when you get that first pip and you're starting to trim the other ones? Isn't that like really just something?
So I wait until I start seeing scratches.
Okay.
So if that shows you how small the egg is. I wait until I see scratches. So if you look at this egg right here, if you see to the left, there's like a dark line. Can you see that? That was where the snake was scratching. And you can actually see the egg tooth in this picture. Right on top of its nose, it looks like a little pimple.
Huh.
You see it?
Yeah, it's like it's a shinier, lighter color. I didn't realize it was that possibly it was that prominent on some specimens. Huh.
Yeah, it is. They're teeny weeny little eggs. But yeah, so I basically, when I start seeing scratches is when I will cut, then I'll cut the eggs. But I don't cut the eggs until I see scratches.
Okay.
So, Tanya, how many cookies? I'm assuming you're asking how much
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah, it's a people. Yeah, it's sensitivity because sometimes you're not supposed to sell things on this, so people use that phrase to get around it on the TikTok nanny crap.
So in general, you can get them anywhere from really the cheapest captive born ones that you're going to find. The cheapest captive born ones are locality basis, probably around $1,200, 1,200 cookies, sorry. And they can go all the way up to 15,000 cookies.
Wow.
I love them. They look like little. Everybody always says they look like forbidden snacks when they're like this on a like pretzels.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I thought it was a pretzel. Yeah, chondros get big fat heads when they go into shed.
Now I've not noticed that, but maybe I'm just not paying attention enough. My Biak doesn't. I mean, I've heard that about some of the other localities. Does yours do that more obviously?
Oh yeah, their heads get real fat. It's really noticeable in the babies. I wish I had a picture of a shed head. I don't. I wish I
just
did.
haven't paid attention enough. I'm always worried about getting a complete shed and I just stress about the humidity level at the right times, and I've never really paid attention to the head like that.
Yeah, they get big fat heads. They absolutely can. I don't think I have a picture of that though, unfortunately. It's always fun to see, but I don't think I have it. But no, they're awesome snakes. I have fun with it. There's yours.
Yep, that's one of the photos I got saved. But look how incomplete and irregular its dorsal and triangles are compared to how it is now.
No, sorry. No, that's not yours. Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say they cleaned up.
I was like, wait a minute.
You were trying to trick me, and I caught it. You thought I wasn't paying attention. Look, I am learning, Sensei. I am.
That one's yours.
Yeah, there's that dorsal hardcore stripe. There you go.
Oh, thanks, Tanya. I don't actually really this is just kind of a one-off. I wasn't doing anything tonight, so I popped on. I don't honestly make a lot of TikToks or go live.
I didn't even know you were. I didn't even invite you. You just popped on out of nowhere, so it's super cool.
I just saw you, and I was like, oh hey, I'll say hi. But no, I don't usually. How do I get off that thing? I don't usually pop on. I'm on my Instagram a lot, so I'm on it a lot.
Yes, you are. You pop stories constantly on there.
Yeah, you gotta do it. So I mean, you're welcome to pop over to my Instagram. It's Coastal Morelia, which is Morelia. So you're welcome to do that. Made Kevin make an Instagram.
Kevin's on there. I just think it's mostly personal content.
I use fish tank lights.
Right? Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to pop on over. Like I said, I'm usually not on here a whole lot. It's usually Instagram, but I don't mind to ever talk to anybody on Instagram. That doesn't bother me. Yeah, thank you, Santos. But yeah, no, they can get pretty pricey. Philip, you know that price, that high cookie price that I just said?
Yeah, I had no idea that. I didn't know what the ceiling was. I never flirted with that, so I did not know that.
Yeah, there you go. There's the high cookie price.
Oh shit, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yup. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
No, that is Christian Stewart's. I actually don't have any animals from Bill. I did have one. I had a sickness sibling, but it was a yellow. And I didn't really think that he fit very well into what I was doing because I was more going in the high yellow direction. So I actually sold him to Tucker over at Purple Rain, and then he went on to father 4 clutches in one season.
Dang! I bet you're upset about that.
No, I was really happy actually because I'm glad that he could be of use for Tucker and what Tucker was doing. I don't think that he would have really done much here.
That's someone I actually don't know really anything about. So I hear the name Tucker, but I'm not aware of him. I might follow his page and not realize the human behind it once again.
Tuck's,
You know what I mean?
Tuck's good people. Kevin, were you here when I showed the hybrid? I don't remember.
Yeah, he said last night we had the show with Ryan from High Voltage, and we did a round table of people that got, snakes on sticks. And he said last night that he's getting out of chondros and going more into emeralds. And then I joked for 5 minutes about where's the mute button, disconnect, and I gave him a hard time. She's
in shed, so she's like kind of rankly at this point. But this is my 50-50 girl.
That green pop, it's so lime on that. Is that the hybrid, the mix? Is that what's doing that?
Yeah, and she's actually got like the dark green. Like I said, she's wrinkly right now, so it's not. She's dark green, she's yellow. She's a really nice mix. And she's got the, the base and attitude.
Is that growing in popularity? I mean, so few people have basins that I guess they keep them pure for the most part. Is a hybrid growing? Is that a thing now, or I haven't heard of this?
Depends on who you ask.
Gotcha.
No, this northern girl down here has actually got a date with this guy. Coming very soon. And then I'll have hopefully we'll have a litter of hybrids. I've got 4 basins right now. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got 4 basins. The one northern and then the one 50-50. And in the emeralds. And then I think I counted and I had 26 chondros now.
You have 26 animals?
No, I have 26 chondros. Hold on, wait, let me count.
Well, that's what I meant, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Sorry, 27.
Holy shit, Carly.
But now keep in mind that counts. There are two babies, one that's yours and one that's somebody else that are still at my house. So
Yeah.
when they're gone, it will be 25.
I'm hoping to make that a reality here in the next couple weeks, and you will have one less to worry about feeding.
Yeah, Tanya, they're just a different locality of emeralds. So, we talk about the green trees. They all look different because most of mine are designers, but they come from different, like way back in their lineages, they've got different localities based into them or different areas where they come from. So, it's the same concept of, it's the same concept of like you have different kinds of white-tailed deer. Like they look different because they're in different areas.
Well, let's be honest, it's the same as humans too.
It is the same as humans. You get
Italians versus Scandinavian versus African. I mean,
people of African descent have dark skin because they live, in different climate versus people who are, like you said, Scandinavian are pasty as all get out because they live where they live. So you get different localities from different places around Indonesia and even some into Australia. And it just causes a different effect. The big difference with basins and northerns, so I can show you. So like this is a like a northern right here. So they don't have as much white on them. It's a lot more striped, I would say, when you
okay.
It's a lot more of a striped pattern, and they tend to be a little bit more, from what I've seen, like a vibrant green versus, if you come over to the basins, they tend to have,
More
a
solid
line that goes all the way down their back. And this is what you would call like a traditional. This is not this, and that's why I opened this one. This is like a traditional style basin. They also have a tendency to call it barbed wire.
Yeah.
Because they look like little barbed wires. Versus like this guy up here is a diamond, and you can see how it diamonds out further down his pattern.
And those are both, you said, northerns or basins?
No, those are basins.
Okay.
So, and then the one that I had over here is something called a snowflake. They just made different variations of it.
Are they breeding for that, or is that just totally random from nature? They're breeding for it.
They're breeding for it. That's why. So this one is what you would pull out of nature. The thing about basins is, and the reason why basins are so expensive is because basins, the locality in the area where the basins were brought in from, you can no longer legally import animals from that area. It is completely illegal to import from where this species and this locality stems from. So you're very limited to what you have in the U.S.
Gotcha.
That being said, that is also one of the reasons why I can reach in here, touch this snake, and he's not going to rip my hand off. I can do that with any of the basins versus you couldn't pay me to do that with her right now. I wouldn't do that. You couldn't pay me. Even though she ate last night. There's the remnants. You couldn't pay me. I would not do it. Because they're not as far removed from the wild as the basins are. Quite more.
Well, that makes sense for what, their distance and relativity to the wild, but I didn't realize, I honestly had no idea they were breeding for certain visual, phenotypes and attributes. I did not know that whatsoever.
Oh, 100%. So it's this. Yes, you can get there. There are all mutations that can technically occur in the wild. And it's just like, there's you've got like the anaconda pattern. I don't know that bases necessarily get bigger. But you've got the anaconda pattern in the northerns, which basically takes away the white. But then with basins, you've got diamond, which is that big, thick triangles. You have got the barbed wire, which is the more traditional style, which is what I just showed you, that one in the tub. You've got snowflake, which is where the white just kind of speckles out.
That's what they called me in college too. So,
and so that one, like the more white you get on any of these snakes, the more expensive they get. You've also got something called HQ stripe in basins. That's mainly a European line. I would kill somebody to get that over here.
HQ stripe, huh?
It's just one solid stripe. There's no lightning bolts. There's no barbed wire. There's no triangles. It's one solid stripe all the way down the back, and I absolutely love it. To my understanding, there's one animal in the U.S. that is an HQ stripe, and it's at Ed Marino's house. So it was imported, and if I was able to import them, I totally would.
Oh.
No, it's HQ. HQ is it's Harold. I don't know his last name, but it's something with a Q. But he named it after, HQ for his initials. So, but yeah. And then you also have a new one that Ed has come out with. Ed's like the father of basins over here. He's calling it Alien, and it's basically the reverse of the snowflake. So it's really, really neat. So we're getting more variation. Again, the problem is it's a closed population. So, which is kind of like this boy over here. This boy over here is like, he's really plain. But one thing I'll tell you, so that basin down there came from Ed's stock, right? That basin up there came from Ed's stock. My female basin that's not here yet came from Ed's stock. He's kind of running the herd over here. This one right here was bred from a female from Ed's stock, but the male was produced by a guy that illegally imported a bunch of basins. So he has got genetics that I'm hoping will mix things up. Because you can't legally import basins anymore. So, which is why they're so expensive. Because you can go to a show, that's why I don't take green tree pythons really to shows, because people have a hard time when I set something down in front of them and they're like, oh, this is a baby green tree python. I'm like, yeah, I produced it in my home, raised it from an egg. And they're like, oh, why is it several $1,000s? There's one over there for $500. And it's like, well, that one rolled directly probably out of a farm in Indonesia and probably is loaded with all sorts of things, but you spend your money, boo-boo, that's you.
Yeah, it takes some understanding, I guess, to justify, I think, people to spend money on bloodlines. And I think the casual, I feel like a lot of people with green trees have one as a pet. Like, not everybody catches the bug to breed them. And I feel like I see a lot of people have one that they love and cherish. And so then they kind of find a balance. Maybe they don't spend $5,000, but they don't spend 500. They spend somewhere in the middle and end up pretty happy. I feel like is kind of the sweet spot for folks. They're not a cheap snake, but we were joking about ball pythons earlier. Man, a decent one. I mean, there are 2, 3, 5. There's some out there that are 10, 20 grand right now because of the rarity of them. And so, I mean, you can get something that you just love and cherish for $200 or 2,000. It just depends on what your goals are. I feel like, I don't know. Somebody give her a corgi gift right now. Where's a corgi? There's a corgi gift in these things, and you can. Oh my god!
It's my big chunk.
Who's got a corgi gift? Give a corgi.
It's my big chunk.
What a perfect little face.
I know. Yeah, Kevin, you're not wrong. People sit there and they'll say, "Oh, I've got this. It's captive bred." People don't. The thing is it's such a false term.
That's why I use the phrase captive hatched for mine. It's much more accurate. Its parents were wild.
Technically, the term is U.S. captive bred. That is what you want to look for. If anybody is ever interested in buying a green tree python, what you want to look for is you don't want to see the CB necessarily. You want to see the U.S. or U.K. because we do get some from the U.K. U.S. CB. Because they can get away with it. They'll say captive bred because technically it was bred, it was bred in captivity. You'll also see people use the term captive hatched. That's another thing. So that's what I'm telling you. Captive hatched is also not the same thing. Captive hatched is, hey, I went and snatched you out of a tree and brought you to the farm, and you were pregnant or you were gravid when I snatched you and brought you. You had your babies, your babies hatched on my farm.
That's my BEOX background. Honestly, that's it. And I've never misled anybody. I knew what I bought for $300. I mean, I knew what I was getting into. They were upfront about it, and I knew what I was getting into, and I wanted to prove to myself I could keep it alive and thriving before I went crazy on, making another step. So I said, well, let's get one for a couple $100 and try it. I didn't want a wild import because of, a lot of, it's not for the faint of heart, and it wasn't for me as a newbie. I knew better, but I figured I'd take a chance on a captive hatch, and it's been wonderful. I mean, it's not for everybody, but I'm not fooling myself that it's, anything more than what it is. It's something for me to learn and enjoy the animal that I've wanted for so long. That's what for me was a self-teaching moment.
Yeah, we had another thing that you'll see a lot of is you'll see the LTC emblem. There's long-term
captive.
Yeah, there's really sketch laws about them still going out into the wild and snatching them.
Yeah.
To sell. They'll do it to put them in the farm to breed them, but they can't really do it to sell. But they can do it so after that animal's been in the breeding farm for a while, then they'll sell it as a long-term captive.
Yeah.
So there's magical loopholes around everything. But ultimately, my thing and my biggest suggestion for people that are starting out, maybe you just want one as a pet, maybe you just, you want one as a visual thing, you don't want to get into breeding, you don't really care what it is. Yeah, it's nice, the thought process to just go with the cheapest option because you don't want to spend a lot of money because you don't know that you're going to keep it alive. Is to go with is quite literally just to go with an import. The problem is people get those imports, they're packed with parasite, they don't have any help, they don't get any aid from the seller, you're on your freaking own. And basically what ends up happening is that animal is probably, it may never eat. They don't really know how to set up the enclosure the right way. They don't have any help, and the animal ends up passing, and then they are basically, they're put off from chondros for, the rest of their life. They're like, oh, they were terrible. I wasn't able to keep it alive. you know. But if you can buy a cheaper option from a breeder, and you're gonna get that help. Like I've sent, everybody, your snake will come with it too. It has basically, I have like a troubleshoot list. Like, oh, your snake's on the ground, check this. Snake won't eat, check this. Have problems with this, check this. I've got a care guide that I send anybody who asks. That's pretty much got everything except like how I do it laid out. I put my phone number on my send home sheets with my baby. And I'm like, listen, you got an issue? FaceTime me. Give me a heads up beforehand. But FaceTime me. We'll figure it out. We'll work it out. That's what you get when you're buying from a breeder.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And then I have none of that. In contrast, I bought from Satu, an importer pet shop place out of Cleveland. And I mean, they were friendly. The transaction went smooth and animals healthy. But I have absolutely zero support or answers. They couldn't even tell me when it last ate or anything when I bought it. I mean, they said, oh, it ate last week, but they couldn't tell me like its history of meal size. Only since they've had it for a few weeks in their care could they tell me. They couldn't tell me long term its diet. And I mean, there was some scant info, but there was no. And they weren't, and I don't fault them. I knew, like I said, I knew what I was getting into. I wasn't fooling myself, but big difference to get from a breeder. The support and the knowledge is it's definitely worth it. Especially if you're gonna get a nicer snake that is more valuable, you better do your homework. Better know what you're up to.
Well, I've got 1%, so I'm about to lose you.
Yep, dude. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I am so glad you popped in here. And it was no big deal. I didn't want to bother you about last night. We had chatted some, and I didn't want to just be like, hey Carly. So I just figured you were busy. You had a show the night before. I was sick last week. You were sick as well, so I totally get it.
Yeah, we've had COVID and RSV over here.
Poor baby. Yeah, your little one, right?
Yeah. So it's been wild, but I'm getting ready. I'm going to pop off and I'm going to go to bed.
All right.
But yeah, anytime I'm free, I don't care to pop on. I just have a hard time being free.
Right. I totally understand. Oh, thanks for your time, man. I always love learning with you, and I will be in touch with you quite soon. Get some rest and get better quick.
All right. We'll see you.
See ya. What up, everybody? Yeah, so that was kind of random. I was just doing some chores. I kept doing my chores. We were just hanging out, so that turned out to be pretty damn sweet. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What my agenda? I didn't set anything up. I literally said, she just popped in. We've been buddies since March of this year. And she reached out to me, so I always she's very sweet. Kevin. Yeah, we talk pretty often. I've been paying on that Neo from her for a little while, and she's from here where I live, Jonesboro. So that's what she reached out to me, like, no shit, a chondro keeper in my hometown? No way. Nobody there even knows what that is, much less has them. And I'm like, yeah, I am him. And so we've been friends since, and I don't try to bug her with a lot of questions. Like you can tell from her collection, she's fairly big time. So I don't want to, annoy her and be a total nerd. But all right, guys, I gotta do. I still gotta make a damn promo for next week's show. So I'm gonna have to hop off here. But I'm glad you guys hung out, and that was not my intentions, but super damn cool. So thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate you. We'll catch you soon, guys.